Hi everyone, it's Manda, and I am taking part in a blog hop today with a number of other YouTubers, and we are talking about our favourite items from 2014 and also essentials. So I'm going to start with my essential list. Cardstock is obviously the #1 essential in my collection. I buy them in these packs of 60. I just get them from my local Spotlight, which I guess is the Australian equivalent of a Michael's, like it's a, you know, a big craft department store. So I like the American Crafts one. I know some people have a preference for the basil. I honestly, I've probably used basil. I probably can't even tell the difference personally. I'm sure there is a difference, but this works perfectly for me. I buy big packs of white and black, and any other cardstock I use is generally something that's coming in a kit. Mostly, you know, my backgrounds, if they're not cardstock in white, will generally be pattern paper. If I do want to mount that pattern paper on a different colour, I use some of the other cardstock that's come my way in kits, etc., or I use a piece of 12 by 12 paper that I don't think I'm going to use for something else. Oops, sorry about that. Okay, so next is paper trimmers. I have two. This is my favourite, the big American Crafts one, but as you can see, it's big, like it's bigger than the screen. It is 13 by 8 inches. Fantastic paper trimmer. It has a cartridge that comes out here, and you can swap it for a scoring blade or a, I don't know what that is, crinkle cut. I've never even used that. But it's a great paper trimmer, and I do love it, but it's huge, so I don't really use it because my desk is quite small. If you had a big workspace, then I would recommend this paper trimmer. I do have a new one coming. I put in for the Kickstarter project for a new Caterpillar crop paper cutter. I've just lost my train of thought. Yes, so Caterpillar had a Kickstarter project where you could fund a new cutter. I am waiting for that. It's in the very final stages. It was meant to be here by now, but I guess these things take time. I'm not too worried about it, but I will be interested to see how that is when it comes out. I've heard very, very good things about those. So this is the paper cutter I generally use because you'll see me use it in most videos. It's one of those removable blade ones. It's just a Fiskars. It's okay. I find that the blade, like it dulls very quick, so I'm constantly buying new blades for it. So I don't think this was a great investment. It's easy to take to crops. Not that I've ever been to a crop, but it's easy to take with me if I go somewhere. You know, it measures the 12 inches by 12 inches. It's fine. But if you want to, you know, I don't think they're very expensive. So as a basic paper trimmer, this is great. It does the job. But I wish I did have a bigger space so I could use my big American Crafts one. So next, I guess I'll talk adhesives with you. I only use a couple of adhesives. The first one is the American Crafts This to That adhesives. Now, I always use these. I would love to use an ATG. I don't know where to get them here in Australia, but these work fine for me. I can get them from the Spotlight. Generally I can get a voucher or a coupon, so I buy them, you know, whenever one of those comes up. There's only 24 meters in it, so and I go through them reasonably quickly. You'll see on my layouts I like to use glue a lot on the backs of things, so I do go through them reasonably quickly, but it holds very well, and I do like that one. My next is double-sided sticky tape. I would use this for mounting down, you know, for double mounting. I don't always do it, you'll see in some videos, but sometimes I do, depending on how much of this I have. Generally I have a wider one than this, but I've also used all that, so I really think I need to go adhesive shopping. But this So I think you need a tape in your collection, a tape runner of some kind, double-sided tape, foam dots or foam squares. Again, last sheet of my foam dots. Wow, okay. So these are American Crafts as well, and you can get them in dots or squares. And lastly, the last kind of adhesive that I, use is foam mount tape. I would like to get some better quality than this. This is just, I don't know what brand this is. It is, yeah, it's a cheap brand. It is acid free and everything, but I don't know, it's not the greatest. I've been looking for double-sided Scotch tape everywhere here. I can only find rolls that are like $20 for the same size as this, so I need to look into that a bit more, I think. But I think basically in my collection, I believe you should have foam tape, tape runner, double-sided tape, and some kind of adhesive dimensional dots. So they're the essentials. Basically, when I'm talking about the essentials here, these are the essentials for me, but I think generally, most people would have these, consider these, maybe not the same brands, but consider having these items as essentials in their collection. So next, I will talk inks. I have a number of different kind of inks that I use regularly. So, we have, and stamping up. Okay, so until very recently, I didn't have any coloured inks at all. So I always use, I had these Prima chalk edges. So I used these for most of my colour stamping, and it was fine. They work fine. They are a chalk ink, so they do take a little bit longer to dry. But for small stamping on, layouts, works. Works beautifully. These are only about $2 each. So if you're on a really big budget, like I was, when I bought these, I couldn't afford, $10 ink pads. So I got a whole heap of these, and I've been really happy with them. Obviously, you can edge things, edge layouts and that with them, but also I use them mostly for stamping. So I think I should have, I really should have thought about this more and had something to kind of do an example on. Sorry about that. Okay, so those are those two. I have just got some Stampin' Up pads in, a selection of them. I think I got about 10 different ones. I used to be a Stampin' Up consultant, and these are fantastic ink pads. I really, I loved them. I got rid of all mine at one stage because I had a tower, and it was like 52 ink pads or something in it, and I really wanted a silhouette at the time, so I sold it all on eBay so I could get a silhouette, which I didn't end up using very much because we had a love-hate relationship until the Cameo came along. But anyway, so they, I like the fact that they're stored like this so the ink doesn't settle, and then you just flip it into place like that. They're just, I don't know, I really like the different colours. I like that if you wanted to, you can get cardstocks that match pretty much the same. Yeah, I've always been a fan of Stampin' Up ink pads, so these are the coloured ones I am using now. In regard, obviously Versamark is pretty much a required ink pad. This is for embossing or watermarking. So if you have a dark, like a craft coloured cardstock, and you want to make an interesting background, you can just stamp into this and then stamp it on and let it dry. Again, it's for embossing, so it's very sticky. It's also very dirty, sorry about that. It's very sticky and it'll take a while to dry, but you can dry it up with a heat gun. The other thing is, obviously, this is mainly for embossing powder. So if you're going to do heat embossing, you need one of these. Next are my black ink pads. VersaFine. Yeah, love this. It's great for words and things like that. I don't know if this vellum's going to work, but we'll try and use this as a example. Alright, let's see. Okay, And this is a roller stamp. So it does really good fine detail. Like, that's probably not the best font to use there. Let's see what we do here. And it helps if I don't move my hand when I stamp it. You can see there, it picks it up really nice. It's a good, I swear by this ink pad. This is my favourite black ink pad. It was my favourite black ink pad until this one came along, which is the Heidi Swap Archival Dye ink pad. Love this ink pad. Cannot get them anywhere in Australia. I was fortunate enough to be given this by Heidi herself when she was out here. I think they need to make these, mass produce them, and sell them everywhere. You know, just looking at these, I don't know if I've pressed harder or not. I think that actually does a better job. But you can see there is a fine difference in the colour. This is maybe a bit more, like this is black. This has kind of got an inky kind of, I don't know, navy. It's not, I mean, they're both black, but there is a difference between them that you can see. You probably can't even see it on camera. It's so little, but I can see it. So they're my two favourite black ink pads. I want these. I know they're available at Michael's in the States. A couple of suppliers out here did have a couple of them available, but Heidi, you need to get these mass produced and out there because they are awesome. Okay, so that's that. Sometimes I don't want to use black. I want to use, you know, like black will stand out too much on a layout, and so I just use the here we go. See, okay, it's not really showing the difference on there at all. This is a mid-tone Hero Art Shadow ink. I use this for stamping words. Mainly at the moment on a layout, I'm going to stamp words rather than backgrounds and things like that. I'm going back more towards card making. It's funny how, you know, things go around. I started out as card maker and a stamper. Then I've become a scrapbooker. Somehow in the middle there I was a mixed media kind of art journaler. And now I'm heading back more towards cards. But obviously, you know, I love scrapping. So, yeah. Anyway, these are the inks that I love. So definitely you're going to need basically some coloured inks however you can get them. I said if you're on a budget, these are great, but just be aware they are chalk ink. They do take longer to dry. So I think coloured inks, a black ink, but make sure your black ink can pick up fine lettering, and I use shadow ink for some, like I said, sometimes black is too harsh on layouts, so I definitely think you should have a charcoal grey ink. And the Versamark, if you are going to do heat embossing, that's probably not really an essential as such. Next I have the mists. I don't like Mr. Huey mists. I don't use them. I have them all. I don't know, they just, I don't know, they never work quite right for me. But I do love Heidi Swap Colour Shine, and I have a ton of them. I think I have almost every colour. But my absolute favourite is the gold. This is my second bottle of gold this year. I use it for everything. I like ink splatters. I don't do a lot of misting as such. I usually use them for ink splatters. So my absolute two favourite would be the black velvet and the gold. They are my most used. The other thing that I did get recently are these Dilutions. Now these are more of a mixed media ink. I'm going to just come out and say it. I don't use these on layouts. They're great, but I have these mainly for art journaling. But I've seen Irit and a few other people use them on their pages. This is fantastic ink spray. Like, I'm in love with this, and the colours are so vibrant and it's permanent, and yeah. So if you're looking for something that doesn't have sparkle, because I do like a bit of sparkle, these are great. I have a whole heap of them in different colours as well, and I love them. Like you know, I don't do a lot of mixed media scrapping, but I have used them on layouts. I would use them on layouts, and I really, really like the consistency, the vibrancy of the colour, and the fact that it's permanent. So that is a great item. I'm going to quickly jump back to adhesives because I forgot my diamond glaze. Live by this stuff. So it's a water-based dimensional adhesive. It is the same as Glossy Accents. I have both. I just don't know where my Glossy Accents is. This is the one on my desk. I use it for holding down wood veneer, acrylic shapes, even transparencies if I can tuck them under something else. It dries clear. Love everything about this. Fantastic, very, very strong, just great. And also you can, you know, make, because it is a diamond glaze, you can, you know, layer it on top of paper and other embellishments to give it a shine, like an acrylic, an enamel coating, which makes things really pretty, but I mainly use it for glue and absolutely love it. Tool-wise, I don't use a lot of tools regularly, but tiny attacher is an absolute must. I do think everyone needs a tiny attacher. They're just, I don't know, good. If you can get a small stapler somewhere else, that would work too. They're both very, very good. So, yeah, tiny attacher. And the other thing I have is a crocodile. I don't do, oh gosh, I don't use eyelets. So I just actually use this for punching holes in tags and things like that. Don't use it a lot, but it is a handy thing to have. But of course you can also use a hole punch. So, you know, probably not, these two items are probably not absolutely, you know, essential. I could probably live without them, but you know, to me they're very handy. I use them quite a bit. Yeah, love them. And my new favorite thing, now I have had this for over 2 years. This is a stamp press by Fiskars. Had it for over 2 years. I literally opened the packet for the first time yesterday and make a Christmas card. Now this is fantastic. You can line things up on it perfectly. It's cling, obviously, and then you just stamp down like that. Why have I not opened this earlier? This is fantastic. And I see Christina Warner, who makes a lot of cards, if she does the yearly Christmas card countdown. I can't think of what it's called. On her channel. Fantastic. It's 25 days of Christmas cards. So she uses this all the time. And what she does is lines up her stamp where she wants it on her layout. So, you know, on her card. Then she just gets this, pops it over, presses it down to stick it on, inks it up, you know, taps the ink on, and then just puts it back to where she wants it and stamps it down. This is brilliant. How have I not used this? My acrylic blocks need good cleaning. Like, they're disgusting. Like, I don't even take the stamps off. Look at that. That's dreadful. What is that? I don't even know what that is. Yuck. It's gross. So this is fantastic. Yeah. Can't believe I didn't open it till yesterday. And the last thing I believe is essential in my collection are date stamps. I have a ton. I'm going to show you here a few other things in there. These are all my roller stamps in here. Various. Most of them are date stamps. But the one I'm loving the most at the moment, of course, is the Heidi Swapp one with the month written out full in script, and then obviously the day and the year. I love this. The other one I really like, it's not on my desk at the moment, is my Chamille one. And the reason I like that is because it has the date, like the day number, the month, then the year. And that's how we write the date here in Australia. We put the day, month, year, as opposed to, you know, month, day, year, like they do in America. So I really do like that one. But this is my absolute favourite because I love the little script, her handwriting. So they're the items that are essential to me to use. I hope I didn't bore you too much. I have another quick video coming up, and I'm just going to talk about some of the things I loved from this year. So keep an eye out for that. And thank you so much for watching. Bye.